If you look at consumer demand, especially around area like services, I mean, people, don't underestimate the fact that last year was the year where Chinese services was growing actually very, very fast. If you look at travel, look at tourism, look at a lot of the non-physical goods, I think that consumption has been going up. If you look at actually even this year, white goods, right? A lot of the appliances, right? Electric vehicles, right? That has been going up. I think when you look into underneath the hood, there's actually quite a lot of positive signals, right? On the consumption side. If you look at next year or this year, what they're trying to do, I do think that the Chinese consumer will be increasingly an important part of Chinese economy. And I think that that's something to look forward to. In China, there's actually the old economy and there's a new economy, right? The new economy is all the things that we're talking about, right? AI, EVs, batteries, right? All these things where robotics, right? Where I think, and new life sciences, biotech and all those, we are growing as fast as ever before, right? This is something where they are globally competitive. So I think that what is important in China these days is how do you align yourself? How do you use technology? How do you use these new ways to position yourself in the right swim lanes? So you're in the growing part of the economy and not in the suffering part of the economy. And that's really like my message to our clients is around like, where are you? And if you're in the wrong swim lane, you better get yourself over there. Otherwise, you'll be suffering. I think the Chinese economy has always been quite open to foreign businesses. The difficulty is actually the competition itself in China, right? So in China, it's not like it's the Chinese company competing against the multinational. It's every company compete against everybody, right? So in many ways, when you go into China, this is like I call it the world's toughest gym, right? So the question for them is not one of whether China's open or not. It's whether they are competitive enough to serve the Chinese consumer who are discerning, who are intensely looking at all the deals out there, looking for value for money, right? And how do you compete and do well in there? The flip side, though, is if you can win in China, you're pretty competitive in the rest of the world. So, we do encourage multinationals to say, well, you got to get into that gym because if you're fit in there, right, you go to the rest of the world, right, in those gyms, right, you're pretty good.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download Metro TV Extend sekarang.